everybody, my name is Charlie, and today I'm just going to speak with you about a synthetic hair that I am currently rocking. And the reason that I'm making this video review is because when I wanted to try to find some information about this hair, I tried to go online and find like different photos. You know how you do your research before you figure out which type of hair you're gonna try. So, but I didn't find a lot of information out there. I may have seen one or two reviews on it, so I just figured I'd just go ahead and add mine to the collection. And if you so happen by this video and want to see a little bit about this style that I am currently rocking, then keep watching. A lot of people have different feelings towards synthetic hair. Me, I don't discriminate. You know, whatever's in my budget or whatever I'm feeling, then that's what I'm gonna go for. And so this is a synthetic hair, and it is 18 inches. And I'll go ahead and turn around a little bit just so you can see a little bit there. Okay, the length is 18 inches. Like I said earlier, so it sits just about you know, top of or the bottom of your shoulder type here, and then in the back it's probably about the bottom of my bra, mid bra strap, or the bottom of the bra strap. And the colors that I have in right now, since it's the winter, I usually go a little bit dark. This is a 1B. And it's like a 1B30 slash 1B33. I don't have too much of the 1B33, but it's just kind of in the back just to kind of give it a little bit more of the dimension there. But this hair comes in a variety of colors, actually. So if you like the lighter colors or the more creative color blends or different things like that, they have that. The darkest they have is a 1, and then it goes all the way up to your, you know, blonde mixes and a couple of reds, you know, different things like that that you may be interested in. This is a weaving hair with an illusion closure is what I use, is what I call it. So all of it is sewn in, and I don't have a picture of the braid pattern that I use, that my stylist used. I can't do no hair. So anyway, she just kind of braided, going back, straight back, left out this little section here, and then straight back here, straight back, and left out the section at the top. Now this hair did come with a bang, and it's more of a straight bang. You know, some people have, you know, go ahead and sew that part in and then it kind of swoops, but I didn't want to have the bang that went with it. That's just not my thing. I'm not against bangs. I have been known to rock a bang or two, but as far as this particular style, I didn't want to have the bang. So I did the illusion part to where it looks like a micro braid closure. So basically what I did this time is I cut it off the track. Well, she cut it off the track, so let's just keep it real. She cut it off the track, and then I went ahead to make these little small micro braids here, and then just kind of blends in. And the reason it's called an illusion part is a lot of times when I rock this hair, people tend to think that it's micro braids all over. Honey, I don't have the patience for all of that, so I'd rather sitting here for the little bitty part, you know, takes a whole lot for me personally. So I'm fine with people thinking it's micro braids. You know, people be trying to get all close and get their fingers in there. Can't be doing all that. So, but they do, like I said, this curl pattern does come in a braiding pattern, but it's still by Model, the hair company, but the brand changes. It then goes into your Glance hairline. Let's see if it can, the Glance, and the curl pattern is still twin deep. And this I have it in a number 4, but the difference between of course, you all know your weaves. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know weaves. But if you're a weave novice, the difference between the weaving hair and the braiding hair is the hair isn't on a weft. Okay, so there's no weft there. So it all is in that little knot there. And this is still the 18 inches. And I believe that must be the only length that it comes in, because I haven't found anything longer. And for some people, this is too long, but for me, it's, you know, it's just enough. You know, it's almost not long enough, you know, but this is about as long as I have ever gone. So anyway, So what you could do is buy the hair that's on the track, you know, and if you wanted more micro illusion instead of just like a part like I have here, if you wanted to, you know, continue the micros onto the side, here's just a little close-up of my little braid right there that she braided it onto. But if you want to continue the micros on the sides and you want to continue it in the back, you know, maybe just the crown and then maybe your edges in the back, then I would suggest getting the hair that's on the weft for the majority of it, and then go ahead and getting some of this braiding hair, and then it's the same curl pattern, so you just, it'll blend in beautifully. And I may try that sometime, seeing as how I have some of this left over. I have some of this left over just from a crochet braiding hairstyle that I did, so that's why I have that left over. So anyway, this is this. I have had this hair installed several different times before. I am a fan of this hair. I love it. It feels very soft, you know, and it's not heavy or anything like that. It's not overly shiny, which is a lot of the issues that I used to have also with synthetic hair, is that it just has that luster to it that just doesn't look very natural. And this one does have a bit of a luster to it. Today is Sunday, and I got this done, styled yesterday. So it does have a little bit of a luster to it right now, but as it ages, that luster goes away and it looks a little bit more natural. So here are some of the pros of the hair. It is very soft, very soft. Love the curl pattern. Doesn't have any shedding. I mean, but then again, with it being a curly pattern, curl pattern, you're not doing much combing or fingering it at all. So the shedding, you know, you just don't have it as you would with straight hair, to where you're combing and brushing more frequently. You don't really have that with this hair. Ages well. I mean, right now it's kind of flat, but then as it ages, it gets a little bit bigger. And if you're a fan of big hair like I am, then that's a pro, not a con. But if you don't like big hair, then this may not be the way to go for you. One of the other things about this being a synthetic hair, and I guess we're moving into the cons, but none of these cons are anything to where it will bother me to where I don't get it done. Like I said, I've had this installed with different colors, different variations, several times, at least 10 times. Just, you know, I usually rock this in the winter time, because under this I am natural, but you know, I do like to have my hair accessories every now and again. So it will, as it ages, it starts to sort of mat up a little bit. But I don't really mind the matting, just because it's not unbearable. You know, you could just kind of take your fingers and just kind of separate it if you want to. So it's not to where it just starts to look like a little poodle and gets all hard. It does harden. Right now it's like really soft, and it does get a little bit hard, but not, again, it's not unbearable to me. For the most part, it stays pretty soft, and it probably starts getting hard depending on how long you wear it or how much you sweat or work out or whatever. It depends on how quickly it will age. So it usually, for me, I notice probably about week 3, and I usually try about 3 weeks or so is when you can start to kind of see it mat up. The back, of course, with any hair, you know, will mat up a little bit more, just because it's constantly brushing against the back of your clothes, and you know, you're hot at the back of your neck, that type of thing. So right now, like I said, I just got it done yesterday, so you can kind of see kind of through here where it's starting to, you know, loosen up a little bit and kind of get a little bit tangled there. But as it ages, that will get a little bit more. But usually what I do is I'll just go through it, and then I'll snip out the little pieces, like right here, that want to do that. I'll just cut those off eventually. That's how I deal with it. Also, when you have this hair installed, whoever installs it for you, just try not to finger it too much. That's one of the benefits of the hair, that it will progressively age on its own. Like the bigness and all that stuff, that will happen over time as it ages. So try to finger it. I keep saying finger. Try not to play with it or run your fingers through it too much. You know, just the curl pattern is very pretty. You know, it's very pretty. So just kind of leave it alone. But you know, every now and again it does sort of get a couple of them that will make its own little curl lock, if you say. But it's easy to just kind of get it to fall out, and just be real careful with it, because you don't want to disturb the curl pattern too much. you know, and it'll come back out. All right. Like, even though I don't have micros all the way around, if I wanted to pull it up, you know, and sort of hide that braid on the side, I could do that. You know, if I wanted to just have a little ponytail, like when I go to the gym or whatever. Or if you just want to pull back one side and add a clip there. Or maybe you can add a clip, you know, on both sides. You know, you can still do that. You don't have to have the micros that go all the way around. You know, unless that's your thing. If that's the look you're going for, then sure, go for it, you know. But if you don't, it's perfectly fine. You know, just down like this. And then if you want to pull it up, when it's time for bed, you can't just go to sleep with this hair. Like, you can't just fall asleep. You have to wrap it up or do something with it to preserve the curls. You have to wrap it up or put it in a ponytail or sleep with a bonnet or something, just to slow down the process of the matting, because it will eventually mat over time, but you don't want it to mat right away. And you can't just go sleeping and doing things like that. But I usually will put on a little netted piece. I'll either wear this one or this little black one here. And then, so what I do, I'll just show you. I just take the hair, I take my little net here and shake my hair back, and I put the net on. Then I use my thumbs to gather the hair and sort of sweep it into the net, like so. So again, you just lightly sweep it into the net. And this is also, when I've had this hair done, this is how I would go to the gym. You know. See that? It's just in the net, and it's all just nestled. And the net doesn't make it bunch so much together that when you're sleeping and you get hot, that it's like, you know, it doesn't do anything. So I just kind of let it breathe. And again, like I said, this, I keep it like this at the gym. You know, my little, that there. But again, back to bed. So I have the net, have it sitting in the net like that. And then I will put my black satin bonnet on top of that. And so I just go to the back, put that up like that, and then it's in there. And the reason I put the bonnet on top of the netting is just because it was a net, so still when you kind of turn, I didn't want it to gather and start matting up into its own little clumps or different things like that. So I put the satin bonnet on top of it, and then that gives it more of a smooth, you know, when you're tossing and rolling over at night, it's not matting up. So it just basically one more layer between your pillow and the hair. So that's pretty much what I do. And if I'm really not trying to be cute, I'll go to the gym like this, honey. You know, it just don't matter what you look like as long as you get in there. Okay, I take that back. It does kind of matter, you know, because if my shoes don't match the outfit, you know, I gotta feel cute at the gym. But that's neither here nor there. I digress. So, yeah, so this is pretty much how I go to sleep. This will now conclude my review of the Model Equal Twin Deep synthetic hair. I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. It's my very first review. I hope it wasn't too boring or I didn't get off topic too much, but more reviews and things like that will be coming, so feel free to comment and subscribe. Seeing as how it was my first review video, just go ahead and ask some questions if I left out any information that you would like to know pertaining to this hair. Like I said, this isn't my first time wearing it. I've worn it several times, so I pretty much know about how it ages and different things like that. So if you want to know any information that I somehow didn't cover, just go ahead and leave a comment in the bar and go ahead and subscribe. First of all, that'll make me feel really good, and more videos will be coming. So that is Charlie's 2 cents on the Model synthetic hair. Love you.